What is up, guys? So I posted a short, but I'm going to do a full video with my thoughts and the Call of Duty news. That is a tweet from Call of Duty. That tweet, kind of talking about matchmaking in general. And I'm going to throw it up on screen, but I'm also going to read it for you. Sorry, I had to pull it up quick. That tweet reads, over the past year, we've continued to learn a lot about multiplayer matchmaking through player data, community feedback. We're also excited to see all the recent love for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, which reinforced that there are many elements of those experiences that players appreciate. Starting this week with Season 5, we're updating Black Ops Classic, Quick Play, and Party games at Black Ops 7 with a new matchmaking system. Oh! With a new I'm live commentating this, so I'm playing while reading this. Matchmaking system inspired by those classic games. What a big deal that is. We'll continue to offer open playlists in Black Ops 7. We'll also include open playlist options. Open playlist options in the upcoming Modern Warfare beta. Thanks for your continued feedback as we stay focused on player experiences that go beyond expectations. Jump in and let us know what you think. That was the tweet, okay? That was the tweet. What that could mean. Oh no! I went to call my UAV. But, so, who would have thought something that we've been talking about for years to Call of Duty, complaining about skill-based matchmaking, they're actually like, oh hey, it turns out players and community feedback is that they don't like it, and that these BO2 port and BO1 port are actually more beloved because of the matchmaking based on the numbers. Now, what those numbers are and everything like that, we don't necessarily know exactly what they looked at. I think it was a lot of were players staying in lobbies, were players staying in lobbies, were they playing more, not leaving as many games, stuff like that, although I feel like people have been rage quitting more than I've ever seen. But this is a huge deal and a huge win for us as the COD community. Now, I don't want to get too excited though, okay? I don't want to get too excited about it because what is open matchmaking? I am interested to see in BO7. I might play some quick play and start seeing what kind of lobbies we get. Now, based on my understanding, skill-based matchmaking has been in the game for a while, but is based around score per minute, is what I had last heard. Now, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm curious. I'm going to maybe test that out in some upcoming... After the Season 5 update, I maybe test that out. Just if I could view profiles, combat records of people in my lobby and see what their score per minute is compared to mine. Now, I also don't have like an absurd skill, like... There's not an absurd skill gap between me and other people. It's not like my score per minute is crazy high. But I had heard that that was what that was kind of based off of previously. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see exactly how they're gonna compute that, what that looks like at Black Ops Classic, Quick Play, Party games, all that different stuff. But where this gets interesting for me is there's another YouTuber, big time YouTuber, T-Dog Schmitty, or Smitty, not Schmitty, it's Smitty. He kind of talks about how he got to go play MW4 early. And after he played MW4, he decided to ask them a bunch of questions. Like, who wouldn't? If they're doing their job right as a big YouTuber and COD news person, who wouldn't ask them a bunch of questions? You know what I'm saying? So he asked them a bunch of questions, and one of the people that he talked to talked about this exact thing. Whoa. Pre-fire. Talked about this exact thing with the matchmaking, and the YouTuber, Smitty, did not want to report on it until he had a little bit more confirmation, as well as it was not confirmed that this would be in MW4. It was just talked about that they're looking at getting away from the current matchmaking and going towards something else. Now, this is where classic matchmaking is obviously different than open matchmaking. And what are those differences? I don't know. Does open, like Smitty he brought this up in his video, kind of talked about it. I'm just curious to see exactly what open is versus classic. Like open, do they turn it down a little bit? Do they try to balance it more? How does that work? You know, I think it's a fair question to ask, and I would love some transparency on that from Call of Duty on what exactly is open matchmaking. One of the things that I could see being a problem going forward is that the open matchmaking that Schmitty talked about, and I think he's exactly right. I would have likely have thought of this on my own. It's not classic, it's open. And where we're going to be like, hey, we're expecting classic, but then we get open, and open is not entirely classic, and what that'll look like going forward. And will we feel like we got duped? Will we feel like it's a rug pull, essentially, where they're going to tell us one thing but then give us something completely different? And that's what I'm nervous about as well. And I think the COD community will definitely be up in arms about, is obviously I think most people's reaction will be believe it when I see it kind of a response, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I kind of am a jaded COD fan at this point, but it seems like they're just definitely being way more community driven in their approach to MW4. Now, the early reports MW4, a lot of pros like Tyler TP, Palcho, I believe, kind of said how it just feels like an MW19 clone, which is not good in my opinion. MW19 was one of the worst CODs ever made. I hated everything about it. I didn't like the gunplay very much. I think it gets a little overhyped by people because of Warzone. I think that's what it is. But I am looking forward to the potential of a different matchmaking system, because it's just going to make COD content way better. Like, if I had a game like this in a nowadays COD, what is the likelihood that next lobby I'm going to get put in a game where it's just insane, where players are just ridiculously good? And I get it, like for lower level people or less skillful people, that news kind of sucks because they want to be able to have a fighting chance against players who are tryhards or sweats or however you want to word it, right? But I think that this is good news in general, because we're getting a little bit of we're getting a developer that might actually listen to us. But I would like more transparency from them on what is open matchmaking, what does that look like, how does it look? Are you just turning down the skill base by a percentage, or is it actually just completely like the classic one? But this is big news, because even if we don't get skill based and it is similar to classic, it's not classic completely, but it's similar, then I think it's still a win, because we're seeing a developer and a game be made with community feedback in mind. And I think that's really a win. Where are they spawning? Spawn flip? Dang it. I should have read that way sooner. But yeah, the tweet really talking about the BO1 and BO2 port and how people and the numbers are backing up the fact that this kind of matchmaking is better. And in these Call of Duties, there was obviously matchmaking that was what they call classic matchmaking. It's not skill-based. It is classic. And we're not getting paired up with people of the same skill level, and it makes like Christmas noobs a thing. It makes live gameplay commentaries more doable, because now all of a sudden we're not trying our butts off and then playing against some crackhead. Wow, shock charges are so annoying. We're not playing against a bunch of tryhards where, yes, you're still going to run into tryhards, but you're also just going to get a random lobby. And one thing that I think is really important with that is the community aspect. But what do I know, right? Call of Duty feels like it's been dying very slowly over the years. but I'm hopeful that MW4, even if I don't like the gameplay, even if it is an MW 2019 clone, that it'll be better because they're listening to us. And I'm hoping to see that throughout the entire year. And I just hope I just hope for the best, but prepare for the worst like usual. But we'll catch y'all later. Peace out.